Webster Parish Sheriff Gary Sexton is here. Hey, Mr. Gary, how are you this morning?
Good morning, sir. I'm fine.
This is one of the, well, you tell me, because it just seems to me one of the more unusual situations, circumstances, and cases that you've probably seen in a long time, right?
That's true. You know, I just made a comment to somebody who walked in my office the other day. I said, I'm not amazed at anything that happens anymore, but I was certainly amazed at this one. I was shocked by this one.
For anybody that doesn't know, run down the circumstances, the details of the case, and then we can, then we got a bunch of questions.
Sure. Well, Friday afternoon around 2:30, our officers received a call that there was a shooting up on Dogwood Trail just north of Minden. When our officers arrived up there, we found that a lady in her mid-30s had been shot, and she was shot twice by a 7-year-old child that was living in the household there. The lady told us, the one that had been shot, she told us it was an accident. But, you know, a flag just goes up just right off the bat. I can understand somebody being shot one time and it be an accident, but 2 times. So we conducted an investigation, and we still have an ongoing investigation into it. Hadn't got all the details that we want right now. But anyway, this 7-year-old has had some problems. He has gone through some counseling in the past, is my understanding from the family. He got upset because this lady would not feed him, and she had some food ordered. Another person was bringing some food to the house, so she was waiting on that to get there, I think, from McDonald's. And he got upset, went to the gun cabinet, retrieved a .22 lever action rifle, loaded it, shot her the first time, and then reloaded it and shot her the second time. Wow. And then she told us that it was an accident. So we don't buy that at all, and I don't think anybody else would.
This seems to me on the part of that little kid to be a lot of planning involved, huh?
Well, you know, the Louisiana law says that under the age of 10, you can't form intent. Well, you tell me. He had intent. At 7 years old, he formed intent.
What happens with him now, Sheriff? Well, I mean, you can't charge him, right?
No, ma'am. I talked to the assistant district attorney yesterday about this case. You know, basically all we can do is get social services and child protection involved in this. The family could get involved in this and help with having this child committed or get him some psychiatrical help. But, you know, when the family starts taking up from him and saying, you know, it wasn't intentional, then you're not going to get a lot of help there. So what we're dealing with is I'll just say it like it is. We're just dealing with a little loose cannon. That's what we're dealing with.
It occurs to... And look,
a 7-year-old loose cannon.
And I know this is incredibly speculative, but if I were a family member of a 7-year-old, a parent or an aunt or an uncle of a 7-year-old who had consciously loaded a weapon and had shot me, it might not be my first reaction to tell the police, yeah, everything's fine, because I might not sleep that well at night. You know what I mean?
I understand exactly.
Now, he was living with the aunt, or has there already been some problems in his home?
There had been problems in the home. I don't know to what extent right there, but my understanding that the aunt was a caretaker of him this particular day, and I'm not sure if she lives there full time. I do know the grandparents responded back to the residents after they were notified, and so that's where we are right now. Our guys are still working the case and still trying to determine what we're going to do. You know, this child needs some help, and certainly he is a child at this point, but he's a child with some problems that, you know, we just can't overlook it.
Mr. Gary, where is the child now? Where is the aunt now? Where is the rest of the family? What's the situation?
Well, the aunt is, she has been released from the hospital. She was taken to Minden Medical Center, but we airlifted her over to Shreveport because of the seriousness of her wounds. She has been released from the hospital, is my understanding. The child is in the custody of the parents. I'm sorry, not the parents. The child is in the custody of the grandparents at this time.
The woman's wounds, are they? I mean, is she going to be full recovery or?
Well, she was shot twice. Once right under the rib cage on the side, and then one just a little lower than that, kind of a downward wound, like she was on the ground and the child was standing up over when he shot her that time is our speculation on that part. But they're not life-threatening wounds. It could have been.
Mm-hmm.
But
is she lucky to be alive today?
Well, absolutely.
Mr. Gary, pardon me just a second, and maybe
Sure.
I misunderstood what you said. And
Okay.
I hope I did. But did I hear you say that this 7-year-old child fired the second shot while his aunt was already on the ground?
Well, she had been shot the first time. Her position of where she's at is trying to be determined by the investigation right now. But it seems to appear at this time that shot was shot from a different angle, like she could have been laying on the ground.
I know you want to get this message out there for folks who have guns in their home around kids. What do they need to do?
Well, the thing about it is keep your guns put up, keep them locked, keep them secure. This child, with the problems that he's had in the past, certainly it's negligence on the part, and this family gets upset because I said this. They just get upset. It don't make me any different. This child shouldn't have had access to a gun.
What's the process now with social services and say over the next 30 days, 6 months? You tell me.
Well, I can't answer for their department. All I can answer for is our department, and we need to see that if we can get some agencies involved with getting this child some help, how much we're going to get from other agencies like social service or child welfare, I'm not sure. But somebody needs to get involved in this because, and I hate to say this, but our hands are kind of tied as far as the way the laws are written, that a 7-year-old can't form intent.
Mr.
So we don't have any right to arrest him or to prosecute him.
How much authority do you have? How much input do you have? How much will social services or anybody else listen to you and the results of your investigation?
Well, I don't think they really have to listen to me at all. I think it's kind of looking through a glass of clear water. They can look at the case itself. I don't have to say anything to them. If they can't realize that they need to get involved in this and get this child some help somewhere, I don't really know what the organization's for.